What's up, dude? Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't really have anything to preface this video with other than this is a developing case as we speak, so let's jump right into it. On February 6th of 2007, a 14-year-old boy found human remains in a wooded area behind an old body shop in Sarasota County, Florida. After he realized that the bones that he came across were in fact human, he called the authorities. Upon investigating, they identified the body as a woman's body lying on her side in a 3-foot hole, wearing a light-colored, medium-sized spicewear miniskirt with a rear zipper and a drawstring suede belt. She also had on a turquoise pair of socks and a multicolored cotton pullover shirt with the tag that said "Made in Italy." The woman didn't have any shoes on, and that is what led investigators to believe that she had been dragged into the woods. The woods also implied that this is an area someone had obviously taken great care to obfuscate the fact that there was a body there, since this is not your normal homicide area, according to Lieutenant Skip Wood, and he made this comment in 2010. Medical examiner Dr. Russell Vega determined that the woman was between 30 and 40 years old, weighed roughly 150 pounds, and had been in the ground for 7 to 12 months, according to a 2012 Herald Tribune article. So this poor woman was buried for at least 7 months before anybody found her. She had skull fractures that had more than likely happened before she was buried. An expert from the University of Florida found that her fractures were consistent with blunt force trauma. After this information was determined, the case turned into a homicide. The body was too decomposed to get any fingerprints, but x-rays showed that she had silicone breast implants and extensive dental work. Okay, so this didn't tell them a lot. The breast implants, they were silicone, so that means that she had the surgery before silicone was, outlawed. So I think you have to be 18 to have plastic surgery done, or you have to have a parent or guardian's consent to have it done. So they were able to sort of figure out when she had her breast implants put in, but that genuinely did not help at all with the case. It's just they had such little information to go off of that they were like, hey, we found something. Don't know how this would help, but the silicone implants that she had, they were a very common model, so that wasn't even enough to narrow it down to who she could have possibly have been. The dental work, that too, it just wasn't enough to go off of. And unfortunately, the body was already fairly decomposed, and DNA testing in the database just isn't where it is now. So the investigation went cold. They did try to get some DNA off of her, but there just at the time weren't enough samples in the DNA database to be able to find any information off of her, to find any relatives, to find any possible matches. It just was at a time where that technology wasn't developed enough, unfortunately. That was until November 2022 when DNA testing advanced enough to possibly identify the woman as 39-year-old Jeana Burrus. Jeana and her husband James Jr. lived with their son in Sarasota on the 6200th block of Pauline Avenue. Now, their son's name is released in some articles, but since he was a minor at the time, I just don't feel comfortable saying his name, and I don't even know if that he wants to be found necessarily. Their son went to Gulf Gate Elementary School between 2005 and 2006, so roughly around the time. Yeah, because they found her in 2007. She had been buried for possibly a year, so kind of around the time where she went missing, maybe. James worked at a body shop, and Jeana was unemployed at the time, so I'm kind of thinking that she was a stay-at-home mom, since they did have a younger son. He was still in elementary school, so that's just kind of my own assumption, and it's literally just an assumption. I don't even know if it's true. Jeana and James lived in Maryland before moving to Sarasota County. The main complication in this case is the fact that Jeana was never reported missing by friends or family. Her whereabouts just weren't questioned, according to the sheriff's office. The Sheriff's Office are asking for anyone with information or who like may have known Jeana or James to contact Detective Brian at 941-861-4900, and I will have that number in the description box down below as well. The Florida police are asking for the public's help in tracking down Jeana's family because they don't know where they are yet. So her husband is a person of interest. They don't know for sure that he did anything, but being that, you know, her husband didn't report her as missing, that is super suspicious. So they would like to bring him in and have him questioned. Now, the sad thing about all of this, other than the fact that a poor woman was murdered more than likely, is that her time of death just came at such an unfortunate time. Like, whoever committed this horrible murder did it literally at the right time. Like, they just barely got it in under the wire, because had they done it any later, DNA testing would have caught up to them and they would have been able to find them so much earlier. So I know it sounds weird to say, but it's like, oof, they really got lucky, because like, it's not for lack of trying. Like, the sheriff's office, they were measuring her face, her bone structure. They were trying to come up with like facial reconstruction or reconstructed renderings of what she possibly looked like. And then like age progressions were also done. So it's like they were really, really trying. It's just that they kind of needed that, you know, DNA testing to be kind of even close to where it is today to figure out who she was. So anyways, that is where we are at in this case. If you guys have any information, the phone number is in the description box down below. Give them a call. Do not prank call them. That's just so gross when people do that. You hear of a lot of cases where they get prank calls, and it's disgusting. Don't do that. But that is it for me today. If you guys found this video to be interesting, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. But other than that, have a great day. Go outside, touch some grass, and come back to my YouTube channel for another video tomorrow. Bye guys.